How's it going, everybody? Just having a little issue there with trying to get this working, but I think I finally got it. See if anybody comes on tonight or not. I know I was gone last week. We were actually on vacation, but I'm back in Kittanning and have a lot of things planned. Obviously, it's a big week for our nation. We're going to be having a presidential election here in 2 days. So it's been pretty crazy that way. I thought maybe we would talk a little bit about that tonight. I preached on that today. Well, we've been preaching on that for the last 4 weeks, actually. So um, that's kind of an interesting topic for me. I enjoy the politics. I'm not sure if any of you guys do as well, but like I said, we'll see if anyone pops on here tonight, and then we'll have a quick conversation. I'm going to pull this up on my computer as well, so bear with me here. Okay, Meatloaf, you did win. You were first. So I guess the question that I'm curious about as far as it comes to the election, number one, who do you want to win, and then number two, who do you think is going to win? I think those are two different questions, and I don't know. My answers might be different than yours. I'm not sure. Let's see here. I don't really like to mix politics and YouTube, but I guess like once every 4 years, it's okay, right? And we'll talk about like the more important stuff. So let's start there actually. So right now, working on several different things in Kittanning, and right before that I left, I had just revealed that we got our first mural approved, and so we have a spot for a future mural in Kittanning. Currently, like in active fundraising on that, and so we're trying to get that going by the spring. We want to have all the money hopefully in by the end of the year, and so then we can have the project actually completed, or in the beginning of a beginning process of actually painting the wall in like June, hopefully. But we'll have to have everything kind of in line several months before that to make sure that all that's going to work out. Then, secondly, I have a building purchase that is moving forward very quickly, and so hopefully I'll have an announcement on that, and that'll be a project in itself that I'll have. I won't be working on directly a whole lot, but I'm planning on fixing up this place and hiring other people to kind of make that process go smoother for me. And then lastly, we have a great ministry opportunity, which part of our vacation, we were down in Tennessee, and I was visiting one of the sites of this ministry, and we're looking to bring it to Kittanning. We have it approved as well. I'm trying to raise some pretty big dollars for that, and so we're going through that process right now. And basically, I'm trying to get as many people committed on like a large scale donor side before I fully reveal that, because I want to make sure that we're pretty good on that front. But we're already over 25% of the way there as far as monies go. So that's pretty exciting. And hopefully by the end of the next few weeks, we'll have over 50%. And then I'll be pretty comfortable revealing that to everybody and explaining the whole process of what's going on there. So, wow, we have the first one in. It's a Biden voter. Um, so yeah, I really, I don't know. When I'm looking at the polls, I guess I'll just say who I think is going to win first. Um, I don't know why, but I feel like the polls are very, very wrong when I look at what's happening with all the rallies, and it just seems like Trump has immense support. Maybe I'm just seeing it because I'm in Armstrong County, and Armstrong County is very, very red, but man, it just looks like he's going to be really tough to beat. But that being said, all the polls show Biden. I just feel like it's still going to be Trump. I didn't really feel that way last time. I felt like Hillary would win, but it's been such a crazy year. It's like anything could happen. So as far as my own voting, I'm like a very conservative person. So I I I'm trying to I always try to vote for just as limited of government as possible. I had this shift in my thinking like 12 years ago when I started to, really kind of look into things and figure out, what should I be voting for on principle. And so it's been uh, it's been a difficult 8 years as far as that goes, because Trump is not he's not like a constitutionalist as I would prefer them to be. I want someone who just is going to kind of tear down all the structures of federal government and then you know just try to limit as much government activity as possible. And so that's where I lean. So I have trouble voting for anyone with socialism tendencies, which Joe Biden definitely has. And so I could never vote for Joe Biden. And Trump is the only other one that has any kind of viable chance. So that's where I fall right now. I'm like a reluctant Trump supporter for the second time. But as far as that goes, someone said, yeah, Jonathan said Joe Jorgensen. That's his hope. I agree with that. I mean, I definitely fall more libertarian than anything else. And I know this is like a cop out, but Joe doesn't really have a chance. And I know that that's never going to change unless we just continue to vote for the people that don't have a chance. Like we all have to go that way, but at this stage in the game, it's like too late for Joe Jorgensen to make a move other than to play a spoiler for Trump, which would then lead to a more socialist government. So I don't know. It's a struggle when you talk about politics these days. There's no like true conservative candidate as I see it. Like my big concern is the federal budget. You have Obama racked up $8 trillion in 8 years, and Trump's on pace to top that. I think I have half that amount just this year alone because of all the COVID um, economic support and all that stuff, which is wild to me. But anyways, all that being said, what I preached on today was no matter the outcome, our attitude and our walking forward should never be in fear. We should never be overly concerned with the political structure of our nation, especially from a Christian perspective. I really don't know who would be better for the church overall. Like I know that Trump Trump is more supportive that way, at least on paper, and he's been good. He has a good record over the last 4 years for that. Biden does not. But that being said, he doesn't. It's not like I don't know. Like for me, it's like the end of the world is not a negative thing. Maybe that sounds like really weird to some of you, but I look at it as like the church perspective is my main concern, and like I guess what's it gonna, and then it's like what's it gonna mean here for local politics? And I don't think it either way it's gonna mean a whole lot. And if it does get worse for the church, maybe it would be a moment where the church finally wakes up and starts to take seriously what the church is supposed to be doing. Being world changers around us, spreading good news to people that need it, and continuing to reach out to people that really need genuine help, loving our neighbors, all of the awesome things that Christians are supposed to be all about, that we seem to get so distracted from because we get too caught up in things like politics and all the other stuff in the world. So that was my message today, was like we should not be too overly concerned with how the election turns out. I do believe we should participate. I do believe that we should be voting. All that kind of stuff is like 100% totally on board with that. but I'm not on board with being anxious about the result or, um, you know, forecasts of doom if the result doesn't go the way that we want it to. Because I don't think that should ever be our attitude from a Christian perspective. But but yeah, any other opinions out there? You guys are pretty quiet on it. I know there's a. I'd be curious just to say if you guys just put in the comments who do you think is going to win. You don't have to say who you're going to vote for. Just who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Trump or is it going to be Biden? I'd be curious to kind of see that. And I hear that's a more accurate question. Or maybe you answer who are your friends voting for, or who are the people that you know going to vote for. Meatloaf said, Hillary lost. We need a stronger woman to run next time. And then says, is Beyonce old enough to have a go? Man, I can't imagine why you'd ever want Beyonce as a president. That just seems like a horrible, horrible mistake. I think, I mean, I'd definitely rather have Kanye than Beyonce, 100%. In fact, of all the people that are running this year, I think he might be my favorite. Just because I know where he's at on the Christian question, he's like 100%. He's on board. So Roger thinks it's going to be Trump. Aaron says it will be whoever God wants in there, and that's probably the best answer of the night. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm gonna go a vote. I'm gonna go and do my part, but I'm gonna be okay with however the process ends up, and I'll continue to pray leading up to for our current president, and I'll be praying for you know great success and a great move forward, no matter what we have. Um, Ultimately, I'll be continue to pray for our leadership, but I won't be focusing at the federal level. I'll still be laser focused on Kittanning. I'll be laser focused on loving our neighbors, reaching out to the people locally, and doing the best that we can as far as that goes. Bonnie says Trump is pro-life and Biden pro-choice. 100%. That's one of my main issues as well. Um, I can't. Like I said, there's nothing about Biden that I could ever vote for. Um, that doesn't make me like super excited about Trump still. Um, like I still don't like Trump's rhetoric and all that kind of stuff. But if I just look at his record and how my life is versus 4 years ago, my life is definitely better than it was 4 years ago. And so I think for most of us that's the case. Virus and all, virus included, 100% still way better. Jonathan thinks Trump has it in the bag as well. It says Pastor Andrew 2024. I don't think I'll be quite old enough at that point. I forget, is it 35 or 40? I'll have to go look it up. Maybe it is 35. Maybe I could make a go in 2024. Yeah, it's 35. So I could run in 2024. Man, that would be something else. I would go for it. I would love to get into politics at some point, but I just because I feel like my brain works that way. I'm a very conciliatory person, and I feel like I could do a good job. But at the same token, I have no experience. So, but maybe that's good at this point. Trump didn't have any experience either, and and they need people that aren't in the game so they can shake it up. So who knows? Maybe someday, guys. Meatloaf says, "Can I vote if I lie about my age, like on a video game? Probably, especially this year. You know, you just grab someone else's mail-in ballot. The signatures don't have to match at this point either. So just go ahead and write it in, sign whatever you want to, and just mail it back. Don't actually do that. That's totally voter fraud, and you get in a lot of trouble. But you're under 18, so it wouldn't be a big deal anyways, probably. But Jonathan says, at this point, what do election laws matter? It has been a wild year, hasn't it? Man, with COVID and then all the mail-in voting stuff, and then all the stories that I'm reading now are like, you had, um, I think the Democrats and the Joe Biden, they thought if they pushed mail-in voting, that'd be really good for them, and now there are all these challenges across the country of, well, what constitutes a valid mail-in vote, and when you're in person, at least you know that uh, at the end you can see who you selected, and when you push complete, like it's done, it's over with. But with a mail-in vote, I guess you can go online and check to see if it was accepted and to see if all of those kinds of things either, or all those things were done properly. But it's like that extra step, and how many people are going to have their ballots rejected and aren't going to go and challenge it, and like the vote tallies are going to be off, and they're going to be counting for multiple days and possibly weeks, and like it's a nightmare. It's absolutely crazy. Jonathan says, no experience either, but I was thinking taking on some type of political role in the next few elections. County commissioner, maybe. Who knows? Well, that would be awesome. I know all the county commissioners now, but um, I'm sure they won't be around forever. So we always need good candidates, especially locally. There's just not a lot, there's not a deep pool in Armstrong County to pick from. And so, any of your township supervisor positions, any of your borough council positions, those are all incredibly important in our area because, like I said, the talent pool is thin, and you can end up with a circus really, really fast. And we've seen that in Kittanning. Um, Not so much here locally, but when I first moved here, man, it was embarrassing to watch a borough council meeting in Kittanning and in Ford City. Both Ford City especially was really bad. But there's some good people in there at this point, people that I know that I trust, and that's incredibly important. And so if you are thinking in any way to run for a borough council position or a township supervisor position or a county commissioner position, please, please, please do so. And I would be more than happy to give you a platform to be able to get your name out there if you needed it. So, Jonathan, if you ever want to do that, let me know. We'll do multiple interviews if you want to, and I will do my best to make sure that your message gets heard. Bonnie says, looking forward to moving to Armstrong County. So excited being at church in 10 minutes versus an hour. 100%. Can't wait to have you. And we still have to get your baptism on the calendar. Let me know when you want to do that. It looks like, I don't know if you guys found a place to live while your house is being built either, but, and I don't know exactly what your time frame is for that, but hopefully I'll see you tomorrow and we can talk some more. Bonnie says we're voting in person on Tuesday. Yep, I am definitely doing the same. I'll be voting Tuesday, hopefully in the morning before work or maybe at lunchtime. I try to go at random times when it's not busy because I don't want to go after work, and um, I just don't want to make other people wait. I don't necessarily mind waiting, but I'd rather get in and out and then let other people who don't have the luxury of going during the day, they can go when it's hopefully not as busy for them too. Roger says, any news on the Big Kittanning blackout? Yeah, I have power, as you can see, but I heard that a tree fell on some kind of major transformer down on the Water Street end of town, like over past Sheets. I heard it'll be fixed shortly, so within a couple hours. So hopefully you guys won't be without power for too long. The wind was nasty today too, so if you don't have good insulation in your house, it'll probably get cold pretty quick. So hopefully people will get power back soon. Bonnie says so much corruption for mail-in voting. Yeah, that's a big concern too. I don't mind whoever's gonna win. I just hope they win fairly, and I hope they win decisively. Like I hope that it's not close, and we don't have a Bush versus Gore scenario. That would that would just be really bad. Bonnie says, hopefully still on with Rob and Tyler for volunteering at Armstrong Museum. That would be really great. And then, yeah, I would love to have more conversations with you guys about that. Hopefully, you can get on the board there, and we can maybe try to push for some big initiatives. I think that there's a big opportunity there with the museum, especially when you have more tourism coming through. I'd love to see their hours expand and their building expand, and see if we can do something amazing with that new property that they're going to have and make it a real tourist attraction to kind of keep people in Kittanning and wanting to make a day trip out of it, or a weekend, and make Kittanning and Armstrong County like a destination place that people want to come to. Milo says you should wear a tie next Sunday. I wore a tie yesterday. I did a wedding on Saturday, so I don't do ties 2 days in a row, so it's very difficult. Plus, I never wear shirts to church that are like would look good with a tie. But there will be a video with the wedding, so if you want to see the tie, you can just watch the video when it comes out later this week. Sandra says, I hope it's not dragged for 8 days. Yeah, I totally agree. Bush versus Gore, how long did that drag out? I can't even remember. It was quite a while, though, wasn't it? I'm looking it up here. Yeah. The decision came down on December 12th, so that was almost a month. That's just gosh. Can you imagine the uproar that would happen if that went on for a month? And then you go beyond that, if you had a month long thing like that and then Trump won. I mean, if we think we saw riots over the last few weeks, can't imagine what that would look like. However, I don't think that. I mean, really, they're just burning down Democrat cities over and over again, which doesn't really make much sense to me. And so, at that point, I'm not sure that Democrat mayors would still allow that to continue unchecked. So maybe it won't be as bad as we think. At least that's my theory. Let's see here. All right, so Bonnie says we'll see you tomorrow. I hear Duncan serves great donuts for lunch. Yeah, totally. Baptism in the spring. Want my sister from Michigan to witness it. That's awesome. That'll be really cool. Who knows? If it's late spring, we might even be able to do Buttermilk Falls again. That was super cool. Got to baptize Joanne in there in August, I think it was. So, or maybe it was September. I can't remember. All the months flow together in 2020. But it's been 23 minutes, you guys. I'm gonna jump off of here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I have several videos in the hopper, but honestly, I'm not sure how soon they're gonna be out, so I'm not gonna make any promises to you. But I have 3 videos at least from vacation, which I might just kind of trickle out over time. And then I have another video that I'm working on that'll hopefully be out by midweek. So yeah, just be watching. There's 2 big announcements still to come. I know I said they'd be out by mid-November. I'm still tracking with that, so hopefully that still be the case. But if not, forgive me. Things have been very busy, but there's a lot of good stuff happening, and it's very exciting. Yes, I did propose at Buttermilk Falls. Yes, you're absolutely 100% right. But that's it, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening. I hope the power comes back on in Kittanning. And if you have the opportunity, make sure that you go and vote on Tuesday. No matter who you're going to vote for, go do your civic duty and make sure that you vote legally, Krista. Legally. All right, guys.